Mackerel are incredible fish. They are built for speed and power. Their bodies are long and sleek, like a silver bullet shooting through the water. They have a beautiful pattern on their backs, a series of dark, wavy lines that shimmer in the sunlight. This pattern helps them hide from bigger fish and from birds hunting from above. When you see a school of them, it is a sight to behold. They move together as one, a flashing, living river of silver and blue. These fish are not just beautiful, they are a vital part of the ocean's food chain, a meal for many and a prize for any angler. Why do people love to fish for mackerel? It is because of the fight they give. When a mackerel takes your bait, you know it instantly. The line pulls hard and the fish dives deep. It zigs and zags, testing your strength and your skill. It is a true battle between you and the fish. In Surabaya, the waters are warm and full of life, making it a perfect place to find these powerful swimmers. The thrill of the catch is something that stays with you. It is a memory of power, speed, and the wildness of the sea itself, a connection to the raw energy of nature. These fish are special for another reason. They are travelers of the great blue ocean. Mackerel swim in large groups called schools. They can travel very long distances, following the warm currents and searching for food. They eat smaller fish like anchovies and sardines, and also tiny creatures called plankton. This endless search for food keeps them strong and healthy. It also means that finding them can be a real challenge. You have to understand their habits, their movements, and the secrets of the sea to know where they might be on any given day. The taste of a fresh mackerel is also something special. It is rich and oily, full of flavor that tells you it comes from the sea. People in Surabaya have many ways to cook it. They might grill it over hot coals, letting the skin get crispy while the inside stays tender and juicy, or they might fry it with spices, creating a delicious and fragrant meal. Catching your own mackerel and cooking it for your family is a rewarding experience. It connects you to the food you eat and to the ancient traditions of fishing that have sustained people for thousands of years. When we think of a nest, we often imagine a bird's nest in a tree. It is a safe home made of twigs and leaves. But for fish, a nest is very different. It is not a structure they build with their fins. Instead, a fish's nest is a special place in the water where they lay their eggs. This place must be safe from predators. It must have the right conditions for the eggs to survive and hatch. Finding the perfect nesting spot is one of the most important jobs a fish has. It is all about giving their young the best possible start in a very big and dangerous world. For mackerel, nesting is a group activity. They do not guard their eggs one by one like some other fish do. Instead, they release their eggs and sperm into the water all at once. This is called broadcast spawning. The fertilized eggs then float freely in the open ocean. This might seem risky, but it is a clever strategy. By releasing millions of eggs at the same time, they increase the chances that at least some will survive. The vastness of the ocean becomes their nursery, protecting the tiny eggs as they drift along with the currents, far from hungry mouths near the shore. The eggs need specific conditions to develop. The water temperature must be just right, not too hot and not too cold. The amount of salt in the water is also important. These factors determine whether the tiny embryos inside the eggs will grow into baby fish, which are called larvae. The currents play a crucial role too. They carry the eggs to areas rich in plankton. When the baby mackerel hatch, they will have their first meal ready and waiting for them. The ocean provides everything they need in these early, vulnerable days of their lives. This process is a miracle of nature. Think about it. Millions of tiny, fragile eggs are let go into the immense ocean. They are completely at the mercy of the currents, the temperature, and the predators that lurk below. Yet enough of them survive to continue the cycle of life. They grow from tiny larvae into small fry and then into the powerful, sleek adults we know. This journey is a testament to the resilience of life in the sea. Understanding this life cycle makes us appreciate the mackerel even more, not just as a fish to catch, but as a survivor. So, where do mackerel choose to create these floating nurseries? They look for very specific places. In the waters around Surabaya, Mackerel prefer areas where the seabed changes. They like the edges of underwater reefs or areas where a sandy bottom meets rocky ground. These spots are often where different currents meet. This mixing of water brings in a lot of nutrients and tiny organisms, which is the perfect food for newly hatched fish. The mackerel are smart. They instinctively know that these locations give their offspring the best chance of survival in the vast ocean. Another key sign of a good nesting spot is the presence of bait fish. Mackerel need a lot of energy to produce eggs, so they gather in places where food is plentiful. Look for large schools of smaller fish like sardines or anchovies. Where you find the food, you will often find the predators. Seabirds can be your best guides. If you see birds like gulls or terns diving into the water repeatedly in one area, it is a very strong clue. They are hunting the same small fish that the mackerel are feeding on. This is a natural signpost pointing you directly to a potential mackerel hotspot. The depth of the water is also an important factor to consider. Mackerel do not lay their eggs in the very deep, dark parts of the ocean. They also avoid the very shallow waters right next to the shore, where there are too many predators. They prefer a middle ground, often in waters between 10 and 50 meters deep. This depth provides a good balance of safety and access to the sunlit upper layers where plankton thrives. Using a simple fish finder or even just a depth map of the local area can help you identify these promising zones before you even leave the shore. The time of year is critical. Mackerel have a specific breeding season. In the tropical waters near Surabaya, this usually happens during the warmer, calmer months. This is when the water temperature is stable and the food supply is at its peak. Local fishermen who have spent their lives on these waters are the best source of this knowledge. They know the seasons and the signs. Talking to them can give you invaluable information. They understand the rhythm of the sea and can tell you when the mackerel are most likely to be gathering to spawn, giving you the best chance for a successful trip. For beginners who want to experience the thrill of catching mackerel, the best method is often the simplest. Trolling is a very effective technique. This involves letting out a fishing line with a lure behind a slowly moving boat. The movement of the lure through the water makes it look like a small, panicked fish. This is irresistible to a hungry mackerel. You do not need fancy equipment. A basic rod and reel, some strong line, and a few shiny spoon-like lures are all you need to get started. The key is to keep the boat moving at a steady, slow pace. The best time of day to fish for mackerel is usually early in the morning, around sunrise, or late in the afternoon as the sun begins to set. During these times, the light is lower, and mackerel are more active in their hunt for food. They often come closer to the surface, making them easier to reach with your lures. The water is also often calmer during these hours, which makes for a more pleasant and safe fishing experience. Pay attention to the tides as well. The time around high tide is often very productive, as the moving water stirs up bait fish and gets the mackerel feeding. When you feel that powerful tug on your line, it is important to stay calm. Let the fish run a little, but always keep the line tight. This is called playing the fish. If you pull too hard, the line might break, or the hook could tear out of the fish's mouth. If you give it too much slack, the fish might shake the hook free. It is a delicate dance. You need to be patient and slowly reel the fish in, letting it tire itself out. The moment you finally lift that beautiful fighting fish out of the water is a moment of pure excitement and accomplishment. As we enjoy this exciting sport, we must always remember our responsibility. We are visitors in the ocean's world. It is our duty to protect it. This means practicing catch and release, especially with smaller fish, so they can grow and reproduce. Only take what you need for a meal. Never leave fishing line, plastic bags, or any other trash in the water or on the coast. These things can harm fish, birds, and other sea creatures. By fishing responsibly, we ensure that the amazing mackerel and the rich waters of Surabaya will be here for future generations to enjoy. The ocean gives us so much, we must give it our respect in return.